Right, welcome back. Getting to the end now of putting the bike back together again. And first of all, I've been a bit of a numpty because I put all the front brakes back together and bled them all, but I forgot to hit record when putting the actual pads in and the calipers back on. I was alright with the bleeding bit, so when I come to put the video together, it's a load of big chunk missing. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to re-record it. So I thought what I'd do is I'll take advantage of that, and so I'm going to just quickly film, obviously because I've got them all back together, I'm going to film taking it apart, taking them off, and then just literally just putting them straight back together again. So I'll still do it in the right order, so I'll just edit it so that you're seeing this bit first and then you'll see the bleeding bit afterwards. So I'll move the camera down in a minute and I'll just quickly go through it. I'll probably fast forward the taking apart bit because I have shown this on a video before, and then we'll just go through how putting them back together again. So I'm only going to do one side anyway. So but anyway, yeah, so stick around and make sure I hit record this time. Okay, so first thing we need to do is there's a little pin at the back there, so we should be able to just pull that out. The little pin like that. Then we need to take out the this bolt here, which is an Allen key, and it is find the size of it, 5mm. So I'll make sure I put the torque settings on when I put it back together again. So pull that out, and as you can see, as you pull it out, the retaining spring, just show you the retaining spring, comes out with it. And once you've done that, we should be able to just pull the pads out. Making a note of which side they're actually on. Then once that's done, we can then do the bolts here, the actual caliper, and again I'll do the torque settings. And there you go. So there's the two bolts. Actually hold it all in, and then you just slide it off, and if you can actually see in there, that's all nice and clean when I cleaned it all up. So what I'm going to do now, put it all back together again. So I'm just going to ease the pistons in slightly, just to make it easier to put the pads back in. Okay. So what we do is we just slide over, bolts in. As you can probably see from now, I've give them a bit of a clean up. So. Nip them up and then get the torque wrench out. Right, torque setting on these is 28 Newton meters, which is all pretty set on from when I did it before. Time. That's it. So now we can actually put the pads back. Now there's a lot of stuff on the internet about whether you should put copper E's on these. I always do because, well, the bike I particularly do, because I did have brake squirrel. So what I did was this part here, which is just the shim, you can see I've put literally a tiny amount on there, and there's loads of stuff on YouTube and the internet about whether you should or shouldn't, but I've always found it okay, and I think providing you don't cake it in it, then it's actually fine. So so that will go in there, and you'll probably find it at a drop too far in. The other one in as well. You'll probably find that one will drop too far in as well. So what I do is just lead them back up, and if I put that in first and then just get the first one lined up, and what you can normally do is just put your finger in the back, just pull the pads up, oh, get the spring in properly, like that. It's one of those jobs where you need free hands, and then once that one's in, you can then pull the bottom one up from the back, push it all in, and then it should all line up. Oh, I'll try not to drop this socket. And then obviously there is a torque setting for that as well. The torque setting for that is 18 Newton meters, which is actually pretty high, I think. There we go. And then once you've done that, you get the pin, put the pin back in, and then it's just a case of pulling the lever a few times, nice and easy, and then you'll get the pressure back onto it. Job done. Okay, so now I'll actually show the bit that I did earlier, which is the bleeding. So okay, right, So what we're going to do now is I've put both of those lots of pads in, got pressure on there, so which is all good. What I'm going to do is take off the cap for the reservoir. Just one little screw. Now you notice there that I've put cloths all the way around here, and that is purely because brake fluid's not very nice to paintwork. So if you actually get it on your paintwork, it's not good. You have to get it off really quickly. So if we just take the cap off, and then there's like a little sealing washer, and then like a rubber, like a diaphragm. So they go there. So I'll put them to one side, and then just keep fingers nice and clean. Right, what I've got here is a tester. So I'm pretty sure I've shown this in a video before. So what it does is it actually tests how much water content is actually in the fluid. So 0 being okay. Now up to anything over 2% is not okay. So let me just show you that. Can you see that? So it shows what's good and what's bad. So if I put that in there, right, it's coming up as 1%, which in theory is okay, but now I know that fluid has not been changed since I've had the bike. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to change it anyway. So the first thing I need to do is get myself a container. And then the next thing I'm going to do is I'm actually going to syringe the fluid out of there and into my container. I'm going to do it so it's just above the feeder pipe. So a little syringe. I picked this up at one of the motorbike shows, I think, for £1. So so it's quite simple to use. So we just put that in there, and then we just pull it up like that, put it into our container. Okay, all good. So next thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to drop the camera down then onto the caliper and show you the pipe and stuff. So okay, right, so what we do is we get a bleed pipe, which is then going to fit. I've got put a little bin here upside down to actually rest it on. I'm going to then put, it's an 8mm on the bleed nipple. Now on this one there's actually 3 bleeding points. There's the master cylinder, there's that side which then comes across and onto this side. Now I've read a few different reports on this, and some people say you should do the top one first, other people are saying the last one first. So I think logic says do the last one first, which is what I've always done. So what we do is put the 8mm spanner on there, just a ring spanner, and then we put the, just show you this, on the pipe. It's got like a little clip on it which actually holds it on. So we put that over the bleed nipple and then push the clip down to actually hold it. Right, all good. So the next thing we need to do is make sure that the reservoir up there is always full up. So we very carefully, this is a new bottle of fluid, and there's again, you know what, there's a few different reports out there about whether you can, once you've opened it, whether you should just throw it away or not. I watched a channel, what was it called? I think it's called The Workshop. A guy on there called Matt Hudson, I think his name is. He's quite a clever guy, and he did a video on this. If I get a chance, I'll put a link to it. And about whether you should reuse it or not and stuff like that. And he seems to think that it's okay, and he seems quite a clever guy, so I'm going to believe him. So, but anyway, so what the actual sequence here is crack open the nipple, push the lever in, lock the nipple, let the lever out, and then you keep doing that until you get clean fluid coming through, and we should be able to see the clean fluid coming through there. So and then obviously keeping an eye on this to always keep it topped up. So we've got pressure there at the moment, so we undo the nipple, hold down, let go. So undo the nipple, push through, lock, let go. Undo the nipple. Okay. You can see the fluid coming through. It should be pretty straightforward, because it's not as though I've taken anything apart. I'm literally just pushing the old fluid out and pushing new fluid through, so I shouldn't theoretically get any air in there. So undo, push in, do up, let go. Undo, push through, let go, do up. Say that is clean fluid coming through there now. So I'm just going to top that up. There's actually a torque setting again for those bolts, which I'll do once I've done everything. So we can literally just undo the clip, undo that, make sure we don't spill it, and then okay, right, I'm just going to carry on that because it'll just be boring otherwise, and then I'll show you the results when I'm finished. much it. I'm just going to get the tester again if I can find it. Right, so get the tester out again, and it should read logo, which it does. So what I'm going to do now is just put everything back on, and then I'm just got to torque up the bleed nipples. So and that goes through there. And that's it. Job done. Obviously dispose of the old fluid responsibly, not in the garden. Which I'll do that in a bit. So, well, that's about it. So what I am going to do, just in case there is any air bubbles in there, I think, is I'm going to put a cable tie around that, holding it on overnight, and then that should, if there's any air bubbles in it, then it should, they should disperse or come to the top overnight. So, but I can actually feel that feels really nice and strong. So, as I say, I'm just going to torque up the bleed nipples, and then that's it, and we're done. So the rear brake I did last year, so I'm not going to even bother with that one, and it's all back on there. I might take it off in a bit and give it a bit of a clean up. Whether I make a video about it or not, I don't know. I don't know if it's really worth it. And then the only other thing I've got to do to get the bike back together again is just put on the gear linkage and the rear set. So they're quite straightforward. I might, if I get time, I might make a video about it. See how we go. But other than that, yeah, all good to go. So thanks for watching. Any questions, again, drop them in the comments below. If you haven't subscribed, then please do. And if not, then I'll see you next time. Thanks very much. Bye now.